Well, gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Manston on Air. It is time for yet another tutorial video. Today's video has been inspired by our very own Gaza, Gary, and that's because I had promised him a batch file, a script, essentially, to start many programs simultaneously at the same time as starting Microsoft Flight Simulator. And this script was on my computer, but as many of you know, I've been away for a little while, not been flying much on the VA, and part of that reason is because my installation of Microsoft Flight Simulator was indeed corrupt. So I've had to reinstall Windows, and today I've just got round to getting somewhat of a Microsoft Flight Simulator installation up and running. And as part of that installation, I installed FSUIPC, and it jogged my memory of how to do this script, because indeed FSUIPC, when you install it, installs script on your computer and puts a shortcut to it on your desktop background. The shortcut should look like this, or it will be much smaller. I've blown it up for the purposes of this video. And if you've deleted the shortcut, it may be better to reinstall FSUIPC so that the shortcut reappears again. And what the shortcut does is it shortcuts to a batch file or a script, and it launches Microsoft Flight Simulator at the same time as launching FSUIPC, as well as puts out a splash screen image when it does that. So today what we're going to do is we're going to edit this script to add other programs to the list of programs that we want it to simultaneously start as we're starting Microsoft Flight Simulator. So prerequisites, what you'll need ideally is a program freeware called Notepad++, although this can be done in Notepad or indeed any code editor. But I like Notepad++. And you'll also need, of course, FSUIPC. So ideally, you will have this shortcut on the desktop. And as you see, when you launch it, it brings up this splash page. It says FSUIPC is preparing the cabin, please wait. And while it's starting itself as FSUIPC, it's also starting up the simulator. So that will launch eventually, and we know how that launches. I'm going to close that any second now once it comes up. So you may also want to launch, for example, Volanta. Or you might also want to launch, in my case, I sometimes like to launch PFPX at the same time. Or there are other apps like FS Realistic, which like to be run in the background. Or the Phoenix A320 application. Or perhaps you've got a traffic injector that you want to run in the background. Or perhaps some charts. Or maybe, and I say maybe because I've found it hit and miss with this, the ACARS application for Manston Air. So I'll show you how we do this. You find the shortcut, and this is a shortcut because it has this little arrow in the bottom left, and what this is shortcutting to we'll find out. But if you've got Notepad++, you can go ahead straight away and click edit with Notepad++. You may indeed be able to just click edit. It's not actually letting me edit it with Notepad. It comes up and goes away again. But if I were to go edit with Notepad++, it comes straight up. If you don't have Notepad++, then what you can do is right click on the application, on the shortcut rather, click on open file location, and you'll see there that it points to a Microsoft batch file, msfs.bat. And when you hover over this one, if you're using Notepad, you can click edit, and then you can edit using Notepad. But in my case, I will use Notepad++ because it's more colourful and easier to see where we are within the script. So we can ignore most of this because a lot of this, especially at the bottom, is to do with the splash screen, the image title. We're not interested in that. And you can see here that it is starting FSUIPC 7. But up here is where we're really interested in, where it starts Microsoft Flight Simulator. So what we can do is, today I'm just going to show you how we would start Volanta at the same time. So we make a new line, and we copy this initial command line. So this is command.exe start, and then we're going to find the location of Volanta. So we push start, type in Volanta, and rather than opening it, we'll go to open file location. If you don't have this option in your start menu, perhaps you're running a different version of Windows, you can probably right click on the app and click open file location. Once you've found this, you'll see that this is actually the start menu here. So in order to find the actual location of the application, you need to right click on the shortcut and again open file location, and this time we're met with Volanta, the application. So this is what we want to link to, and the way I would do this is right click on the application and copy as path. Then you can go back to the script, paste the path. You can actually get rid of these quotation marks and then just leave it like that. So we hit Control S to save the script, close it off, we can minimize those, and we can launch again from the shortcut. And this time, as you can see, it brought up Volanta straight away, as well as starting the simulator and FSUIPC and the splash screen. So that is pretty much it. I will close off Volanta here. Now, there is another thing you can do with this script. It's not just start programs. You can also launch websites. So perhaps you want to launch SimBrief, or indeed you might want to launch the Manston Air Group website. So in order to do that, we're going to go back into the script, and it's very simple. We copy and paste this command again, start, and then just type in the address that you want your web browser to launch when you double click. So I've saved it again, and let's start it again. And there you go, it came straight up with the Manston Air website, as well as starting Volanta, as well as starting the simulator itself. So this is how you make a very simple addition to the script that is basically already there. It is very easy, but it saves you from having to click around and find things, and everything gets launched at the same time. So I find it quite handy. So there you go, there you have it. That's it from me for today. Very short video. We will be doing a mag show over the next week or so, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and speak to you very soon. Ta-da!